We don't want to become our parents, right? But then all these years later, I look at myself and I'm like, man, I got a lot of my dad's qualities. I got a lot of my mom's qualities. And I'm thinking about this. Aaron Rodgers would never want to be compared to Favre. Favre, Southern guy, rigid, threw all those picks. I'm a lot smarter than Brett Favre. And Favre never thought Aaron Rodgers was his equal. Guy went to junior college, California guy, thinks he's better than everybody. They're becoming one another. Think about this. Let's go to Favre's first 10 years in the league as a Packer, and let's go to Aaron's first 10 years as a Packer. Both have a Super Bowl, multiple MVPs, 9 out of 10 winning seasons, and 6 Pro Bowls. Both have iconic arms, commercials, beloved by the fawning media. First 10 years, same guy. Maybe one's from the South, one's from the West, same guy. But remember how Brett Favre's career ended. And couldn't I make an argument? This is sort of how Aaron's will end. How did Favre's last 5 seasons go? Barely a 500 road quarterback, 3 teams, multiple Pro Bowls, couple division titles, never got back to a Super Bowl. And oh, by the way, kind of flaky. Remember, Favre, I'm going to retire, I'm not going to retire, I'm going to retire, I'm not going to retire, kind of held the team hostage. And oh, by the way, there were a couple of quarterbacks emerging, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, who looked better. When I look at Aaron Rodgers down the stretch, I think he's going to make Pro Bowls. I think he's going to win a couple division titles. I'm not sure he's going to get back to the Super Bowl. And he's becoming a little like Favre, whereas your fault, coach out, Ty Montgomery out, defense problem. Aaron Rodgers' first 10 years are identical to Favre's. Will his last 7 be?
Saturday, it's a huge showdown in Dallas as Russell Wilson and the Seahawks take on Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys in the NFC wildcard game. It all starts at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, Saturday on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
7 sports New Year's resolutions next hour. Mark Schlereth next hour. Greg Jennings in 5 minutes. So I want to talk about the Harbaugh family for a second. Jim Harbaugh and John Harbaugh. And it starts with this. Lincoln Riley is the hot coach this year. And the story came out this morning. Lincoln Riley doesn't want to coach in the NFL. Tweet. Lincoln Riley, contract extension, Oklahoma. So now we have 8 NFL openings and exactly 2 coaches that if they got one of those openings, all fan bases would be excited. Mike McCarthy and Jim Harbaugh. If Jim Harbaugh got any of these 8 jobs, Packers, Jets, Dolphins, Cardinals, Bucks, Browns, Broncos, Bengals, that fan base, ticket sales would increase. But all I hear about Jim Harbaugh, oh my God, that guy's overrated. He's winning $9.5 a year at Michigan. By the way, he rebuilt it for the first 3 years. Legendary Bo Schembechler in the 70s, 60s, won 9.2 a year, fewer games. And it should be noted, that's in an era when there was far less competition, and Michigan was one of about 8 programs that had any money. Now, everybody's got money, especially the Southern football powers. Jim's winning more games on average in a tougher environment. Scholarship limitations, Bo didn't face that, 9.5 to 9.2. And he is also, along with Mike McCarthy, in fact, even more so than Mike McCarthy, the only coach, it's basic economics, supply and demand, that if he got one of the 8 coaching jobs, any of the 8, ticket sales would increase. If you think Jim Harbaugh got a job at Cleveland tomorrow, you don't think Brown fans would go nuts? They went nuts for finishing in 3rd place this year. Cleveland fans went nuts for finishing in 3rd. You don't think Harbaugh with Baker, that town would go crazy. Folks, do you know how economics work? Supply and demand. Jim makes $7 million a year. Nick Saban makes close to 10. That's about right. Nick wins about 3 more games a year. $1 million a win. He's paid based on leverage. There are no great candidates. Jim Harbaugh is one, if not the only candidate, college or pro, that is a reasonable candidate that if he got the job, ticket sales would explode. That's how the game works. You are worth what your leverage is. Lincoln Riley's taken himself out of the jobs. Who's available? Who would get people excited? You don't think Jet fans would like Harbaugh? You don't think Packer fans would like him? You don't think Brown fans would like him? This is how economics work. He's making $7 million at Michigan. For his leverage, that is exactly what he should make. He shouldn't make 10. That's what Saban makes. Let me talk about John Harbaugh for a second. John Harbaugh's name is everywhere. How's that possible? If I told you there was a coach who had a quarterback who started in week 11, went 6-1, and now is going to host a playoff game, you'd think John Harbaugh, he never want to leave that job. Why is John Harbaugh's name everywhere? Because John Harbaugh is allowing his name to be everywhere. If John Harbaugh thought this Lamar Jackson thing was 10 years sustainable, he would call his agent and say, take my name out of these jobs. The reason John Harbaugh's name is out there is because John Harbaugh privately has seen this sort of offense work briefly with his brother Jim. Jim got Colin Kaepernick, ran around, beat the Packers, beat Aaron Rodgers, got to a Super Bowl, and then never developed as a pocket quarterback because it wasn't his thing, wasn't his game, and Jim Harbaugh got fired. John Harbaugh's brother has lived the life he's living. So when you see John Harbaugh's name up, and it's up this morning for 6 jobs, is because what he's selling and what they're selling in Baltimore to the public is we are all in. The reality is they're saying, can we win like this for 7 years? I don't know if we can win like this. Lamar might get hurt. So my little Harbaugh update. Jim is exactly paid based on leverage, based on the fact that if USC was looking for a coach today, the fans would ask for Harbaugh. The fans would want Harbaugh. The Packers want him. The Browns want him. The Jets want him. You're paid what your leverage is. Harbaugh is singularly, uniquely leveraged in college football right now. He can get the best college jobs. He can get the best pro jobs. He's paid exactly what he should pay for his leverage. And John Harbaugh's name is out there because deep down, he has questions about sustainability because he saw what his brother went through with a highly talented running quarterback who never quite developed into the kind of quarterback you could trust to throw 35 times a game. Enjoy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.